The nurse's kindness, the lack of information about my destination continued to torment me. I yearned for clarity and a sense of control over my own fate. Desperate to reach out to my mother and share my anguish, I pleaded to be allowed to make a phone call. Trembling and still consumed by fears, I navigated the arduous process of convincing the staff to grant me this basic right. Finally, around 3 p.m., I connected with my mother, hoping for support and understanding I desperately needed. Unfortunately, the conversation with my mother took an unexpected turn. Instead of offering solace and encouragement, she advised me to sign the required paperwork and remain silent. At that moment, I felt a profound sense of defeat. How could I find help if I could not express my thoughts and emotions? The conflicting messages I received left me feeling deceived and betrayed. I had believed that seeking help was the right thing to do, but now it seemed as though, even though my support system was against me. Amidst the already distressing circumstances, as a result of my time in the Navy, I needed immediate access to the restroom. I now have a medical condition, one of which is a major digestive issue. I am unable to hold food, and as soon as I eat anything, I will need a bathroom. It was humiliating and painful. Wearing conspicuous red scrubs, a symbol associated with mental health, only amplified my embarrassment and sense of shame. The decision to keep the bathroom door open during this exasperated my humiliation. The badly dressed social worker returned, and sadly, my reaction was not great. In the midst of emotional turmoil, I went off. I told her about herself. While this may have seemed like the low point, it was not. The potential loss of my guns, a source of security for many veterans, I began screaming about them, that they were trying to take my guns away. I had a very MAGA moment. This was indeed the low point. There is a complex relationship between mental health, personal safety, and the rights of individuals who have served in the military. When working with the veteran population, firearm ownership needs to be taken into consideration when treating mental health issues. Despite my ongoing turmoil and lack of information, I was not picked up until around 8 o'clock. Before leaving, the nurse gave me back my phone and assured me it would be returned to me once I got in the ambulance. The promise of transportation being provided back turned out to be false. I finally was able to call my family and let them know that I was okay. I asked the paramedics where they were taking me, and I was told I was being taken to Lebanon, Pennsylvania VA hospital, which was a few hours away. This was some bullshit. Upon arriving at the psychiatric ward, I was at my breaking point. I may have been hysterical at this point. I could not contain my tears. The medical staff administered a sedative to calm me down and put me to sleep. I cried myself to sleep in a cold, uncomfortable room with a very thin mattress and subpar sheets. The only thing that gave me comfort during this time were books. They had a limited selection, and I spent my time reading 5 books over the 3 days that I was there. Bright and early, the staff began to encourage me to attend meetings and participate in programs. I said no. Breakfast was at some ungodly hour, so I declined that as well. The following day, I had a meeting with my doctor who emphasized the importance of active participation to expedite my release. Realizing the consequences of non-compliance, I attended the meetings and stupid programs and sat there in tears. I was also forced to eat, and they monitored my food intake. Clothing was provided to me once I arrived. Thank you to the wonderful people who donate clothes to veterans hospitals, but I do not know if this was the right situation in which to use donated clothing. Used panties? Maybe not. No clothing that actually fit me, no bras. Luckily, I wore a sports bra. Since it didn't have any underwire, I was able to keep it. Otherwise, to add insult to injury, there was a distressing but not surprising lack of representation in the form of essential toiletries for Black individuals. The absence of hair products, shampoo, and lotion left me ashy. My hair looked dry and a mess. I felt disgusting and ugly, which made my participation in anything even less. Most of this experience was a blur. The emotional toll and emotional feelings of isolation